Emmy award-winning meteorologist Katie Nicolau. Her channel is
much appreciated.
Well, I want to be, I mean, you work hard for that title. You deserve it. So I should make sure you are subscribed to so many random fandoms. She has a metric shit ton of Airbender, streams.
Oh yeah.
But she talks about other stuff on her channel. So go check that out. She's got more stuff coming up in the future. DJ Meyer Jr. Welcome. So good to see you, my friend. Hang out with him so much over on Mass World Entertainment. He knows his Star Trek fandom. So thank you so much for being here with me. So by all means, look, if you've been here for any length of time, you know the crap that I put Katie through. She doesn't deserve it. So at least you can soften the blow by subscribing to her channel. Okay?
Much appreciated.
Absolutely. Okay, Boomer, I'm going to turn it over to you because I'm so fuzzy.
Tomorrow night, I believe on Netters Network, you're going to have a special presentation of a watch party.
What do we watch tomorrow night?
Cobra with Sylvester Stallone.
I still got to make up the thumbnail for you.
Alrighty, I don't know if anybody's watching, but I am going and I'm fixing up the thingamajig right now. So I gotta click on a couple buttons, update the thumbnail image, and I should be good to go. So we're gonna make that happen right now. And hopefully the folder where the thumbnail image comes right up, because if it doesn't, I will be lost. Yep, all I gotta do is update the thumbnail image, but in the meantime, let's take a look. We're gonna turn on the automatic cooling, so we got negative 15 degrees Celsius. Bummer, I don't remember what folder I store my thumbnails in. How about that? How about that? Okay, so we're gonna kill two birds with one stone. We're gonna make we actually might still be aiming at the Pac-Man Nebula, but we do have to update the auto guiding. It's probably gonna be quite a bit off target at this point in time. We're gonna bump it down from a 5-minute exposure down to something more, manageable. Well, let's get the telescope focused before I focus on pun intended, before I focus on updating the thumbnail image for the stream. So we got a nice blurry star right over here. Nice group of blurry stars. And so we're gonna go and focus on them. And so to do that, what I like to do is I like to shorten my exposure time maybe cut it to like half a second, crank up the gain to something obscenely high so we can get like some repetition on that. It's a very noisy image, but I can see the star, so that will do fine by me. Then we're gonna crank out the focus to like, I don't know, 175 steps. And this star that we can barely see actually looks like it's more in focus than it was before. So what I like to do is get it out of focus and then rack the focusing mechanism in. In fact, I'm not sure what's going on there. That could just be a hot pixel. That might be a hot pixel. We're going to crank up the exposure time. We're going to lower the gain setting, even though that would make things a little easier to get the noise levels down. I mean, that looks like a star, but I have a problem when a star looks like that. So when a star isn't getting any blurrier, and I'm making every effort to make the star look blurry, that is kind of concerning. Maybe there's a thermal issue going on. So we're going to actually disconnect from the camera and reconnect to it because, I left it connected overnight. I probably should reset the connection anyway. Now we're going to reconnect. Okay. So now, oh wait, whoops. I should have kept it. Whatever. We're going to keep it at 2 seconds. And we're going to crank up the, oh boy. Oh boy. Let's put that temperature back to minus 15. That's weird. Why did my computer do that? 1, 5, enter. Okay, we're in automatic mode. We'll let that run because it looks like it's not terribly hot outside. But I need to figure out. See, I think that's a star.
I'm looking for somebody who's here who just been here because of Emmy Award-winning meteorologist Katie Nicolau.
It's harder to say as you drink more, isn't it?
I'm not crazy about what I'm seeing right now, so we're going to try and pick a bright star, and we're going to come back to that nebula in a moment. So where do we have a bright star? Let's see. We got a double star with magnitude 2. We got a variable star. It doesn't really matter which one we pick, but I think we're going to try to focus on something. We want to have a bright single star. There we go, magnitude 1 point something. We're going to salute to that target. You see the reticle changing course for that target. Yeah, what up, Nerd Poor Real Life Form? Good to see you, man. That was a fun stream before. Fun discussion. Yeah, so it's a quiet, boring stream tonight. Nothing too exciting. Might go and delve into building my Victory Gundam, bro. Check this thing out. I got 2 Victory Gundams. So actually, this one I've made pretty good progress on. You know, I got the head inside the bag, but you can see I got like the cockpit and the whatchamacallit. Yo, so that's interesting. So that is a great question. I'm glad you asked because I would have released a video by now, and I was gonna because I made progress. Like, look, I made great progress with you know, so I had 2 movies here, and I made really good progress. In fact, I have a video that's ready for upload, basically. This one here was the first movie I ever added subtitles to, and it worked out quite well. This was great. Like, it's in progressive scan and everything. Now, one thing I discovered with Legend of the Galactic Heroes, at least this version, I'm thinking about getting season 2 in the blue box because this is the white box, and I gotta ask around and find out if the blue box is in progressive scan or interlaced. Because here's the caveat. Because this actually, I think, impacts the issue I'm having. Adding subtitles, that's easy. Because I have the Central Anime, which is a fan subgroup. I have the Central Anime subtitles. So let me just pull that up here. So, for example, like right here, we have, like, it's going to literally take like 5 hours because I have to run a filter called a de-interlacing filter. And unfortunately, I think I deleted the result from before, but we can show something. So here we go. Let's see what we got here. I can put the song on first. Here we go. Put the song on low so we don't get in trouble with copyright claim. How's that sound? You know, I've been getting away with murder. So okay, Heldenzongen von Cosmos Soul. So okay, this is the original subtitle track. So what we're gonna do is this is episode 7. We're gonna temporarily add a subtitle track just to show you that that does work, and I've been able to mix them in no problem in the video encoder. So if we go back to the beginning. Yeah, this one cost me $150 on eBay. It would have cost me like $170, but I paid like 200. Oh yeah, so this is the glitchy one. So this is the glitch I was running into. The video encoder either crashes or plays it at warp speed. So that's not good, right? Now I did get a couple of them to come out good, but I'm still tweaking it. I'm experimenting with different filters. But now let me pull up the Blu-ray version because I think that's gonna give us a you know, just give us an idea of what we start with. Okay, so that's disc 1. Yeah, so $170. Oh yeah, hey yeah. What I would like, yeah, I would like to join a showporial in a few weeks. Sure, just let me know roughly ahead of time, and as long as it's not Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday, I'm game. If it's you know, not Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday, then I'm game. I mean, yeah, it's like, you know, those are my work days. I'm off the rest of the week basically. I can come out on a Saturday night, even though Saturday is a school night. So, okay, this is episode 1, basically, for all intents and purposes. So, okay, so let's go back to the beginning. Because these subtitles are beautiful. They really are. Like, the guys who... That's not it, is it? Oh, wait a second. Wait a second. That's not... Okay, there... Yeah, so these subtitles are beautiful. Like, they have different fonts. That, you know, when they synchronize correctly, you got like, you know, a font that resembles this, you know, weird German font. Okay, that works. Any Friday works for me, yeah. And then, you know, like essentially this particular format of subtitles will either have white or yellow text. The Victory Gundam, here we go. You got yellow as the default. And sometimes like when someone's speaking on the radio or if you have a narration running. So here's the thing. So 2 things happens here. One, you have like 6 episodes in one file when I ripped it this way. But I don't think that's the issue because I've done that before. I've had anime series like my Macross 7 where I supply it to a video encoder, and usually Handbrake is the easy one to use. And what you do is you basically say, give me chapters 1 through 5 for episode 1, or as you can see here, I got chapters 6 through 10, which represents episode 2. And, you know, I just rip it, that's cool. But then I, of course, have to import the subtitle file, and if that works too. In fact, I paused this one. So bottom line is that I ran into a weird issue. You saw a moment ago when I went to play back one of the episodes that came out of this program. It was playing at like double the frame rate. So there was some weird glitch. And oh yeah, I didn't explain what interlacing is. Okay, so this is the important thing about the copy I have. Let me just make sure the volume is nice and low so I don't get copyright striked. And so whenever I pause this in the middle of a lot of action, and it's probably better to do it in the opening. Okay, so see how when I pause the frame, we have these fine horizontal lines? That's because basically in the 90s, the way old TVs worked, they didn't do entire frames. They alternated between lines instead of frames. And so anytime you have anything moving, like right here when you see the Brunhild, moving. I gotta pause it at just the right time as the camera is panning. Wait, is it deinterlacing? Okay. And it's not, it doesn't seem like a big, there we go. Once again, they're very fine horizontal lines, but they're there. And they don't show up on a Blu-ray player because a Blu-ray player has a automatic deinterlacing filter. So to re-encode it to play on any device that is independent of deinterlacing filters, I have to run it through a filter myself. And that was the curveball that this, oh shit, I'm not on camera. That is the curveball that this version threw at me. This version threw a curveball at me by being interlaced. So if the blue version that cost a little bit more, close to $200, does not, if that one's in progressive scan, like if I get desperate, I might ask you if your version is interlaced or progressive scan. But I'm going to try not to put you through that, or try not to ask you to go through that. I'm going to go to the subreddit and ask those people if anybody knows, because I'd rather buy the version that is not interlaced, because this one, deinterlacing filters are always less than ideal to run, although I've gotten pretty good at getting a good workflow using this really advanced program. But even using this advanced program, I ran into such weird issues using my regular go-to method. And so bottom line is adding subtitles, no problem. And like, you know, just give you like an example, how do I get my subtitles? This is awesome. I go to this folder where my bootleg copy is, because like, you know, remember when I first got it, I had to download a bootleg. And so I run an app called Subtitle Edit, and essentially, like, it has the, you know, we play it, we get the Helden Zagen von, there we go, and you can see how, like, the blue text on the left highlights. And a shout out to our friend, Swashbuckling Supersonic Soprano September, and bear in mind that he changed his channel name every month, so, you know, it's kind of fun just keeping track of what he's gonna do next. And so in about, what, 10 days? No, about 2 weeks from now, 2 weeks, he's going to have a name for October. And the first time I met Swashbuckling Supersonic Soprano September was, whatchamacallit, in, when it was February. Back then, his YouTube channel was, Fantastic Ferengi Federation, Fantastic Ferengi Federation February. That was his channel name when I first met this dude. And in fact, I met him under the moniker of Action Man Gaming. But anyway, so, you know, point is that you can see how, like, these subtitles are heavily commented too. Like, it says, for example, like, these came from a Laserdisc version of Legend of the Galactic Hero. So apparently the Laserdisc version is a pretty popular bootleg rip, or at least it's a very good version of the series. But, you know, generally I thought Blu-ray is better. And I mean, it is. It's a 1080i. It's not really 1080p, it's 1080i. So I'm working on it. Bottom line, without giving you too much like blah, 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 I'm on it. And there we go. Make myself smaller. But yeah, the main curveball is I ran it to a video encoder. It played at like double the frame rate, which was just super duper annoying. And the second issue was that this video encoder I use, sometimes it'll fail at running the batch job. That's why I have so many batch jobs for Legend of the Galactic Heroes here, because like half of them gave me trouble. The ones that finished, these came out good actually. Did these come out good? No, I think these gave me trouble. I have a few up here that came out perfect. I don't know, half of these came out good and half of them came out effed up. So I'm working on it, and you know, once I figure it out, I'm gonna show the workflow off, and you know, we'll be good from there. But adding subtitles, that's easy. You know, I gotta you know, release the Macross video, because that was a very easy workflow, and I have that fully covered. I'm just trying to edit that video to be a little more concise. And you can see here, like, just to give you an example, the source material is like 30 frames a second. I think it's outputting it at 60 frames a second, maybe. Actually, it doesn't. Yeah, it's outputting at 60 frames a second. That might be the issue there. Okay, so I might have some very serious, like, tinkering to do here. But to run a deinterlacing filter on high definition video, we're looking at 3 frames a second. So in other words, it takes 20 seconds to process 1 second of footage. And that is why this will take 6 hours right now. With the current settings, I'm looking at 6 hours per episode. Now, if it's successful, I don't care. I go to work 12 hours. I'll let it process 2 episodes per shift, 6 episodes per, you know, 3-day work week. Run the computer overnight even, you know, although it'll eat up more electricity, you know, doing this type of workload. So that's where I'm at right now. And that's why I haven't really posted an update on it, because I'm still kind of chugging along on it, and I have 2 options. I'd much rather use this program to run the deinterlacing filter, because it's just a good program. Like, I use this to deinterlace my VHS tapes. I use Vapor Synth scripting, and basically all I do is I pick this preset, and it does a beautiful job with my VHS tapes. I might even have like some examples of what it does to VHS. Like I have some VHSs here apparently, like July 4th, 1987, I think. And just ancient shit. Oh, that's me when I was a baby. But like I was actually able to bump this up to like 60 frames a second. These are people in the 80s. And there we go. You got just smooth panning, not to be looking at a baby's belly right here. But like, you know, like just it's as good as it gets, even though it looks kind of blurry. This is as good as you're gonna get out of VHS, basically. Normally you'd have a bunch of horizontal lines in the footage. I was born in 86, but yeah. Now I think the same tape I pulled this from has footage from 1984. You know, so you know, we got some stuff here. I got some stuff from high school, and that stuff has been great to process. But when I threw your Blu-ray, when I threw the Legend of the Galactic's Hero, my Blu-ray, oh crap! When I threw my Blu-ray at this particular disc being in progressive scan, being interlaced, really threw me a effing curveball. I've done DVDs that were interlaced, no problem. I'm also wondering if this maybe it's because it's a Japanese PAL Blu-ray. Maybe that's why I'm having trouble with it. So what I really need to do probably at this point is open up Google Translate on my phone and read the whole box to see if there's any indications that I should make note of, because I didn't bother. I just thought this was going to be a cakewalk, like Macross Do You Remember Love. I thought it was going to be a freaking cakewalk, and it, like I said, threw me a couple curveballs. I'm making progress, but it's not as fast as I wish. So I think it is European, but I think there is a good question. Actually, I think you're right. I think the Japanese had seat cam. You might be onto something here. That it might not be PAL, because I mean the frame rate wasn't 25. I think one of the hallmarks of having a PAL copy of something is that it tends to be 25 frames a second, and that causes some weird complications when you take American content and send it over there. So basically, Handbrake probably will do the job without crashing, but I didn't want to waste like a bunch of time running Handbrake, because I prefer using the deinterlacing filter in this program here. But if I pause this batch job here and I resume the one I was running earlier, this one would be done quicker. This one says it'll be done in like 2 hours instead of 6 hours. So maybe I'm better off just letting this run, and then when I go to bed, I'll resume the video encoder in the other program. Because look, if this program gives me desirable results, I'll stick to it. I'll use this. You know, even though like for my VHS content, I prefer using the more advanced program. PS1 Mini 50 versus. Yes, so that's the thing. So good point. So yeah, that is true. And you get some weird flickering issues. Sometimes you'll have to choose a different refresh rate to prevent flickering, depending on, you know, what type of thing you're interoperating with. I should turn on the chat overlay. And you know, I remember like Shadows of the Empire, they had to do a little sprucing up when they released that game on you know, in Europe. It wasn't as hard as it was. Originally they were expecting to do a major overhaul, and they wanted to avoid that like the plague. And they were able to sort that out. There's a very good article from a website called Gamer Sutra, where they interviewed Mark Hy Hutchinson, who was like the lead developer of Shadows of the Empire. That was a pretty cool article. That was for the N64 version. So they had to do a little bit of sprucing up, or they had to, I think what they did was they basically zoomed in on the image and resized the overlays. And so they maybe cropped it a little bit or something like that. They did something that was like a cheap trick, but it was much more preferable than, you know, rewriting the crap out of the whole thing. So, you know, like it was like one of those like solutions that was like, oh, well, this is better than busting our asses. Especially considering they were, you know, it was a launch title, you know, and so they had a deadline to meet in order to get it out pretty much alongside, from what I figure, alongside Mario 64. So, you know, I think either way, so all I know is that this video is 29 frames a second, but because it's interlaced, it's technically 60 fields of the second, 60 fields per second. And It's there we go. And so for some reason, the program I'm using for encoding is getting confused by that. It's misinterpreting it as a 60 frames. So I'll play around with it. And like I said, I'm going to use this program and the other program I just showed you. And like, as much as I prefer to use this program, I'll probably end up finding that this one gets the job done effectively. So, you know, I can make it a long-term project to figure out what the bug is with the other program. As long as this gets me, you know, more immediate resolution, it works out, because frankly, this is the easier way to go. So the way I can obviously put the disc in my PlayStation 2, not PlayStation 2. What you could put the disc in your PlayStation 2, it just wouldn't play. But now I can put the disc in my PlayStation 3. But what I do is I put it in one of my computers, in one of my desktops, and then I open up an application called Make MKV. Let's see if I can connect to that computer right now. That computer probably isn't on, meaning I have to wake it up. Let's wake up the computer. I'm gonna hit the button, wake up computer. There we go, I'm waking it. It's waking up right now. And so Make MKV is pretty cool because like it takes a Blu-ray disc, it identifies the title is on that disc, and then it spits out MKV files. And it'll either spit out individual files per episode, which is what I much prefer to see, or it'll spit out like a 40 gigabyte file that contains like 10 episodes in one shot. And that's kind of annoying, but it's actually not that bad because like the video encoders have a thing for dealing with that. I think my computer completely turned off. I put it in sleep mode, but I think I accidentally shut it down. I can only wake up a computer in sleep mode. Let's see, we're trying to connect to it again. I clicked on the button like 5 times. So, you know, we'll play it by ear. And yeah, so if you do a Shadows of the Empire retrospective, I highly recommend. So your editing pro, oh yeah, okay, so that's freaking, yeah, so okay, when I was using Adobe, there we go. How cool is that? That's the, oh damn, I closed it. Let's get that back on screen. I can't get it back on screen. You just saw it, man. That was a RGM 79 picture as my, whoops, who the hell was that? Oh, I know what I did. But yeah, so I have an RGM 79 on my Windows 8 computer. Don't ask me why I have a computer still running Windows 8. But anyway, yeah, so when I used to use Adobe Premiere, it also only supported MP4. And I would use, interesting fun facts, by the way, if you record things in OBS and you go to the menu up here, you click on Remux Recording. So what you do is you record MP4s in OBS. I'm sorry, you record MKVs in OBS. Then you click Remux Recording, and this will do it faster than a video encoder. So you pretty much click on the MKV, and it spits out an MP4. Which let me make sure that I pick a small file. I don't want to do it with a 10 gig file. Good, 12 megabyte file. So basically, watch how quick this works. Remux, done. Like normally it'd take a few seconds, even with a larger file. It might take a little bit longer. That's a good question about 4K Blu-ray. So I haven't bought a 4K Blu-ray yet. I want to buy either Star Trek: The Motion Picture, The Wrath of Khan, or I want to buy you know, like what was it, The Lord of the Rings, because like even if I buy Lord of the Rings on Blu-ray just so I could yank out screenshots, that would be kind of cool. I was hoping for a price drop. But yeah, I should have no problem. So I should definitely have no problem ripping American Blu-rays. Also, here's the thing. Bear in mind, Brian, that it's not so much a problem that ripping anything in 4K. The only issue that I would end up with is that I would end up with a prohibitively large file. You know, so basically like with 4K, before you compress it, that's another weird thing. So when I use Make MKV, that's what I should show, because that's kind of interesting actually from a scientific point of view. And as they say, science says, so Legend of the Galactic Heroes right here, 6 gigs per episode. Macross, Do You Remember Love, 2-hour movie, came out to 35 gigs. And so a 4K movie might be like 90 gigs. So that's like the only bad part, is that it might be like 90 gigs when you initially rip it. Now, the good news is that all of the 4K stuff is not going to be interlaced like this. So this is only giving me problems because it's interlaced. If this was progressive scan, which is like the majority of anything, everything that's modern is going to be progressive scan, I don't have any problems with that. And at that point, you know, I can use my video encoder, your video encoder. So what you end up doing is you rip the movie, right? you rip the movie, you have a 90 gig file that you only need to warehouse for a very short period of time. Then you use your favorite video encoder, whether it be handbrake or hybrid. And what I like to do is I like to pick the H.265 codec instead of H.264. Because basically Blu-ray uses H.264, which is MPEG-4. H.265 is MPEG-4 HEVC, high efficiency video codec. It can have some compatibility issues at times. That's one of the reasons not to use it. But you will get better quality and better compression, or better quality for a given file size. So that's what I've been working with. And right now, like, what was the newest thing I added to my library? Probably Macross 7 episodes. No, I don't have Macross 7. I have the other one. Let's see here. Where did I put it? I think I never broke up the file yet. So this is a 20 gig file with like 12 episodes in it, I think, which is not that bad. I'm trying to remember what I put it. Did I re-encode anything? I think I re-encoded Voices of a Distant Star. Shit, I don't remember what I did. I have some files I have to add to my library that I legitimately bought. And somewhere in here I have, oh yeah, Galaxy Express 39. So with Galaxy Express 39, I did some episodes, I did multiple copies. I still have to rename half of these. But the way that my media server works is if I put a hyphen in the file name, anything in the, after the hyphen becomes part of a pull-down menu. So I'll pick a specific episode, and if I have like 3 versions of episode 10 or episode 80, I could pick between those versions. So the X265 file gave me like a 1 gig file, 1.4 gig file. I tend to be less tolerant of video compression, and so, you know, basically I've been experimenting with different versions. Here we go. I got like freaking like that many. I got 6 copies of one episode right here. This Dairuz the Space Monk, and basically there's a setting in the video encoder called constant quality or constant rate factor, and basically the higher this number, the lower your quality or the smaller your file, and the lower this number, the larger your file is and the better your quality. And so you'll take that 90 gig Star Trek movie, you'll feed it into this program, and you'll say maybe pick a quality factor of anywhere from 20 to 23. 23 is like the most compression that most people are willing to tolerate. Anything above that, it starts to become noticeable. Anything below 20 is probably overkill, and definitely anything below 18 is definitely overkill. But even when you float your mouse over, it tells you like what setting is recommended for what situation. And so, yeah, basically you could take that 90 gig Star Trek movie and probably get it down to at least half the size, if not smaller. But 4K rips do eat up a lot of storage. And so if you're going to put it, let's say, video clips on your YouTube channel, I would probably say maybe downgrade it to 1080p and downsample, or do shorter clips, you know, and that's a way of managing the size. That would be my opinion on that. But yeah, do I have any completed files here? Let me see here, because I want to see if I have anything I can show for my efforts. I spent so much effort on getting the other video encoder to do what I wanted it to do that, you know, that like I didn't really put any time into using Handbrake, unfortunately. But yeah, real quick, one thing I do want to share, I'm going to put a link in real quick if I can find it. Game of Sutra, Shadows of the Empire. Yeah, here it is. Oh, thank goodness. Okay, so does this have the pictures in it? Okay, so unfortunately, this article doesn't have the pictures, I don't think. And I want to find the art. There's another version of this article with pictures in it. And it's important because this, the version with the pictures in it has a picture of a computer called a SGI Onyx and workstation. And basically, when they made Shadows of the Empire, it was a computer that was worth 250 grand. And I'm pretty sure if I type the word Onyx, yeah, here it says right here. In addition, we were fortunate that Lucasfilm allowed us to obtain a Silicon Graphics Onyx computer. And, you know, he goes over the specs and how it had 256 megabytes of RAM. And I think they showed a picture in the original Gamer Sutra article. But essentially, this is a computer that is about the size of a mini fridge. This is not a desktop computer. This is a desk side computer. You know, you got to put that shit on the floor. So yeah, that's what one of the main machines. They had a couple other machines that he mentions they used in Shadows of the Empire. I was thinking about doing like my own video, just reviewing the article, and basically at this point, I'm just hoping I could find like an archived. Oh yeah, this might please be it. Maybe, maybe not. No, that's not it either. But like, there's a website called Gamer Sutra. It no longer exists, from what I could figure, and maybe if I go and I look on archive.org and I work my way backwards, I might be able to find it. I might even have like the original hyperlink that I can back reference with. But all I know is that like all I know is that it was an interview with Mark High Hutchinson, and this guy was so autistic, he's brilliant. No, I'm kidding. I don't mean that. But I mean, well, you know, it could be a thing. But I have a friend that used to use that joke. Anyway, excuse me. Yeah, I can't find it right now. But like, either way, the article I just posted a link to definitely, definitely contains you know, all of the text of that interview. It just doesn't contain like all of the pictures that I care for. So yeah, that's basically it. Other than that, like I said, you'll be the first to know when I make greater progress on this project. And what do I have here? Did I achieve any? Oh no, this is okay. This is I think this is me experimenting back in May. Yeah, this is me taking the bootleg episodes I downloaded and doing some compression experiments to make clips for YouTube. I don't remember what I was trying to do, to be honest. Oh yeah, okay. So this a big fleet engagement. Clearly, I was trying to make a clip involving a fleet engagement, I guess. Oh, you want to see something cool real quick if you're still here? So I created this graphic here. So when I'm playing Gundam videos, I don't get like, you know, basically it's like what Pips used to do on White Clothes, where he'd put like some pattern in front of the video. So assuming that the content ID only happens because of the video, this is how I kind of prevent that from happening now. I'm trying to remember why I have this thing here. Oh well, it doesn't really matter right now, but some cool ships in there. I always love a good fleet engagement. Let's check that telescope now, because I gotta show some love to. Oh yeah, shit! This is what I was supposed to do. So I'm sorry if you're still here. Let me just show you what I meant to show you earlier. So this is Make MKV, and the way it works is you put in a disk. It scans the disk that's inserted in the Blu-ray drive. You click this button and it scans the disc. Now, it already scanned the disc in my case, and it identified that it is a Blu-ray disc. So in the next step, it's going to scan the disc to identify how many chapters or how many titles are on the disc. And so you see it's doing a little scan right now. It's identifying each title on the disc. Boy, it's fucking hot out today. And then we can see we got some Japanese titles. Now, in my case, I've already made a copy of the disc, so I don't need to do it again. But it went to a network for it. I clicked this button. It created the files in a folder. I have a lot of shit open. And there they are. No, that's not it. And they went into this folder right here. And so in my case, it spat out a file containing 6 episodes. And this is my source material. And normally it's super trivial to make clips. So if this was a Star Trek movie or something modern, you would have absolutely no problem running it through a video encoder and getting whatever clip you want out of it using a video encoder. Since this is, you know, something older, and for some reason the people making this, publishing this, did not, you know, de-interlace it, I have to now figure that out. And so that's basically it. But like I said, if it's a modern movie, you can take the file that gets generated by MakeMKV and churn out something. So now let's get back onto topic here. I don't even know what the topic is anymore. All I know is my computer is spitting out oods and oods of heat right now. Okay, so I'm going to shut off the other computer now that I've gone over MakeMKV. Whoops. Leave that open, I guess. Hope I don't wake up the turtles. Anyway, And now we're going to see what we're doing here. So I told the telescope to point at Deneb. Oh, good. Okay, that's a nice blurry star right there. Yeah. All right, let's get that puppy in focus. So it looks like I overshot the mark by a lot. Okay, there we go. So we should be in focus now. And so now we're going to crank up our exposure time just to kind of make sure we can see more stars. Man, it's so hot in here. It's not that hot, but it's hotter than I'd like it to be. Oh, I never turn on my light. I should turn on my light. So we're not going to chew on Andromeda Galaxy right now because it's going to be approaching the meridian. Oh, let's do Triangulum. I did Triangulum. Did I do Triangulum yesterday? I don't remember. We're going to do it right now. I should probably do Pac-Man Nebula, but I want to give Triangulum a chance first. Okay, we've just slewed to target. Triangulum Galaxy. Now, all right, now, oh, okay, well, that's important. We have to change it to 16-bit color mode. So what we're going to do is we're going to take like an 18-second exposure, which will take about 30 seconds to capture. Then we're going to well, you'll see. We're going to do a couple of things. We're going to take a 30-second exposure. I don't remember what I'm going to do after this part. Oh yeah, we're gonna take a 30-second picture. Then we're gonna use plate solving in order to you know, realign the star map. So I have to wait about 5 more seconds, I guess. Yeah, there we go. So now we got a picture. Ah, shoot, I gotta wait 30. I gotta wait 18 more seconds. In the meantime, I'm gonna put sandpaper down over here because I need to do some wet sanding. So what I like to do is, I mean, I don't really have a real method for this, but what I've been doing is putting water down on this piece of sandpaper and then using it to sand down my Gundam. And I use the water from over here. So I use the water from over here to wet sand my model bits. All right, now we can do the plate solving. So now we're going to let it perform the calculations. It's working. So basically what I did was I got a weapons set for my gun. Okay, good. We're going to hit yes. Okay, actually now before I do show off my modeling, let's take a look at the target, which was Triangulum. Yep, we're quite a bit off target here, it looks like. So now what we're going to do is we're going to tell the telescope to recenter our target. Oh shit, what the fuck? Damn it. I hit the wrong target and I got to redo it. That sucks. I got to re-target the target. So, okay, good. We're getting back on target, but now I have to redo the plate solving. So what that's going to mean is I got to wait a few more seconds. It's going to take some looping exposures. Some of them are going to have streaks in them. See, we got some streaks in there. So anyway, I ordered a weapon set for my Gundam model kits, and I figured out that if you put some thin glue on it and you sand it, you can get the lines, the seams off of the thing. But of course, now how do you get the scuff marks off? Well, basically, you use sandpaper of progressively higher grit. So what happens is you get like a somewhat rough finish, but you go from like 400 grit to 800 grit to 1000 grit. And you get to a point where the sandpaper doesn't even feel like sandpaper anymore. It feels like, okay, good, the picture is ready. There we go. We're going to wait for that to happen. And once it stops feeling like sandpaper, essentially that's when you're doing wet sanding and you're essentially now polishing it. You're not really sanding it. Wow, it looks pretty decent. Hey, Padawannabe, what's up, man? That's funny you mentioned Uranus because I think Uranus is actually in the sky tonight. I know. Yeah, I think literally Uranus is at opposition. You know what that means? Uranus is the brightest it's going to be all year. Uranus is 180 degrees away from the pointing towards the sun right now and from the earth. You can see Uranus from anywhere in the world. You know that? Yeah, I'm not even kidding though. I think we could actually check that in a second. I'm not going to aim at it because it's like what I'm going to see, a blue dot. Um, but we could actually kind of verify the star map can see it. What I'm doing instead is I'm pointing at the Triangulum Galaxy, which is pretty much our third closest galaxy in this part of the local group. And so we're going to now basically validate that we're on target. In fact, we're going to verify we're not on target. Actually, it looks like we are on target. So we're going to recenter the target a little bit. There we go. Now that we've done that, we're going to crank up our exposure time. We're going to start with like something moderate. Let's say give it like about 2 minutes to see if we get any results. Then I'm going to crank it to like a longer exposure once I get some results. What I could do is probably pick a broadband filter, but narrowband is better when it comes to dealing with light pollution. So there's that. But let's check out Uranus. How do we spell that? No, I think I'm spelling that wrong. There we go. See, now it's in my it's right behind Jupiter. I can't see shit with my lighting right now. Yeah, but Uranus is right near the California Nebula. No wonder California is such a shithole. That's very funny. Yeah, it's the best joke I've heard all day. Haven't really heard many. Oh, I can see the Seven Sisters. The Seven Sisters are right behind Uranus. Man, what are those girls up to? See, look, the Seven Sisters. They're all lined up behind Uranus right now, man. You're a popular guy. Oh man, tonight's full of astronomy puns, man. But yeah, so anyway, let's zoom in on Uranus. I mean, obviously we can't show Uranus on the real telescope. I'm not even gonna bother. That's something I wouldn't do unless I had a 14-inch telescope, like my old telescope. In fact, Uranus has a couple of moons. I can already see there's like 10 moons or something, like Miranda, Umbriel, Ariel, Oberon, Titania. Now, forgive the video compression artifacts. I should probably use a different program to remotely log into my laptop in the backyard right now. In fact, we're going to try using a different program because this one here does get a lot of, a lot of chop. Okay, let's see. We're going to go in there. Oh, that looks worse. Well, there's not much to see anyway. If anything, what we will do, you know what? We're going to have some fun. Okay, so anyway, we're on target with okay, in about a couple of seconds maybe we're gonna see something, or is it gonna be another minute? Boy, that's disappointing. Let's try broadband filter. Oh yeah, we got cloudies. We got clouds. So that's why the last picture of the that part of the sky is completely dead to us. So while we're waiting for the sky to clear up, if the sky clears up, we're gonna open up an application called I forgot the name of it. Let's see, it's some space shit. It's pretty cool. There's actually two applications. There's one called Celestia, but I don't think Celestia is the best thing for me to run unless I have some plugins. We got Space Engine, and Space Engine I would say is a good program to be running right now. So we're gonna run Space Engine. I'm gonna pick my nose. Look how civilized I am, picking my nose off camera there. The next panel you jump on, you need a shirt that you wrote. This is not a white shirt. Yo, so I don't have that, but that's a good idea. You know what? That's a good idea. Yeah, but you know I get a lot of shit for that. Look, I just do it because if I need to film a video across like 3 days, it's so much easier to edit when you know you don't have a constant wardrobe change. I can like pretend that the video was recorded in 1 day, but it wasn't. Now, I always get confused when I open this app. And even though I have an ultra widescreen monitor, I'm going to make some adjustments to the settings so that we can see it in like less than widescreen mode, because I think that you know, it'd just be a little easier to present this right now. Okay, so we're going to do 1920 wide. There we go. Good. I like this program. It does exactly what I want. Oh, come on. What the heck? Okay, there we go. That's better. Yeah, man, that's just funny though. So anyway, what I did was I did buy a new shirt. I bought a floral from Under a Rock t-shirt. And it's a white t-shirt, but it says floral from Under a Rock. It's the family photo one, you know? And so it's got like, you know, Punk Waddle. It's got floral. It's got Mrs. Flu. It's got Punk Waddle. It's got Wilton the Troll. So this is the part where I always get confused in this game is where it lets me build a spacecraft and I don't even know where to begin. Like, I can pick a real spaceship, I guess, but it's like, who the hell is going to fly a space shuttle? Aliens. We could fly the Fire Dragonfly. Do we have a Wayland Yutani ship here? ACB shields and fur. What is that? All cops are bad? No, I'm kidding. Like, let's see here. I guess we can, that's cool. I was not seeing that. Like, okay, good. We got ourselves like a ship now. Oh god, I lost my ship. Okay, that was fun having a ship while it lasted, huh? Seriously, I don't know where my fucking ship is now. All I did was move my mouse pointer and lost my ship, man. This sucks. Maybe there's a button I can click to recenter my ship. Whoops. Yeah, that was fun having a ship while it lasted, huh? Okay. I have a ship, and I think I'm able to steer. Oh, we got orbital mechanics here, my friend. So we're going to try to get into an orbit. So, Yeah, I got thrusters on this. So I don't know how to rotate my ship. Oh, good. Okay, we're doing something. That's exactly what I want to do. Okay, good. We got thrust here. Sure, why can't I orbit? Why am I out of my mind to orbit? I mean, yeah, we're not in orbit right now. I don't know where I am, okay? I think we're entering orbit. Whoa, 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 whoa. I did something by accident. I'm currently like thrusting away and I don't know what to do. Oh, I see what I did. Oh yeah, my mouse scroll wheel is a pain in my ass. Okay, so we're doing stuff here, but you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna go search for a new target. We're gonna do maybe Jupiter. Oh, I said we want to look at Uranus, right? Well, let's start with Jupiter just because I know that will work. Okay, so my ship is like way over there now. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna eliminate this stupid ship because I don't know what I'm doing and I should figure that out on my own time. But what we are gonna do is we're gonna go search for Uranus or Jupiter. See, there we go. And then what we can do is we can rotate around the planet like this and get to the opposition. And we can pick individual moons and we can rotate. I mention it? I played it a long time ago. It was pretty interesting. I haven't played it in a while. Maybe it was someone else. Maybe it was Deej Odyssey or something. You know, they got a lot of people now. They got a person named Monty G on Floral's channel. Whenever they say that person's name, I jump up and go, "Who's calling me?" I'm like, "No, they're talking to Monty G." Oh, cool. We got the dwarf moon Amalthea. Let's take a look at Amalthea. Well, that's why it's a dwarf moon, because, I mean, if that shit was big, it wouldn't be a rock shape. It would have a sphere. So this game is weird because it has a couple weird quirks to it. So see that nebula there, or see that nebula there? That is the Carina Nebula. Now, here's the way this game gets weird. If you move your scroll wheel, you can move at a high speed. So it says I'm moving at like 44. Oh, wait, whoops. It's not doing what I expect it to do. Might have to reset this. Oh, yeah, there we go. Good. I'm already flying at like a fraction of the speed of light. So normally, you know, oh, God. I'm going at like 1,000 AU a second. 35 AU a second. 1 AU is the distance between Earth and the sun. So we're going 33 times the distance between Earth and the sun right now per second. And it's almost like too fast. And the Jovian system alone is humongous. Like all of Jupiter's moons look like little stars. And there's like one point of light that's like over here, I think that is like part of our solar system. That's not a star. That's Saturn. And you know in Star Trek Voyager, I don't know if you watch Star Trek Voyager, but in Star Trek Voyager, they fly through the rings of some planet and it makes that tinkling sound. Tinkling sound is a good sound, yeah. Just like when old people go to the bathroom. They say when you get old, you pee in Morse code. Oh shit, Appion. Yeah, so I was on a stream with Appion and Ryan Roger Afty, and I think I talked too much. So I fucking I watched the stream after the replay. or I replayed the stream to see like how well I did or whatever, and like I was like, oh shit, I talked a lot. So I messaged Ryan. I go, hey buddy, you know, I acknowledge that I talked a lot. He's like, oh hey man, you want to be on Reality Basic stream? He's like, okay, yeah, sure. By the way, do you want me on the next gaming stream, or you know, should I be prepared for that? You know, either way, no. If he didn't want me on, that's cool. And he goes, oh, you know, I think you're better on a one-on-one conversation than on a group conversation. So there's in so many words, like I did talk too much, or maybe didn't give people an opportunity to speak. So, yeah, that was my experience hanging out with Appion. But cool dude. And like I, you know, maybe like I would say, you know, work with Ryan on a different thing, and then maybe like if I feel like I'm up to it, I'm gonna watch a few episodes of reality-based gaming. And if I think that I can contribute, I'll say, hey, can I be on an episode when you discuss retro gaming, perhaps? Because like, really, I'm more of a retro gamer for the most part, you know? But I'm not going to try to, like, you know, beg to be on a show if I don't think I can contribute. But he was very polite and British in communicating to me. So there's actually a trick with this. So first I got to lower my speed. 30 kilometers a second. Now, all this shit's moving too fast, so what we got... Whoops. We got to lower the speed somehow. I forgot how to lower the speed of time. There's a button for lowering the speed of time. Oh, wait, I remember how to do it now. I lost my mouse pointer. There we go. Now we're in the rings of Saturn. We just got a bunch of ice balls. Is Gears of War on the PC? Probably is, right? So now, even though warp speed isn't really possible, what we can do is we can simulate going the speed of light. So remember I was flying through the solar system? Now I'm leaving the solar system. You can see how all the stars are moving by like right now? I'm moving 10 light years a second. And some people think that if we ever do faster than light travel, it's going to be something like where you can practically move instantaneously, almost like hyperdrive. And so, you know, we may move like 1,000,000 light years in a second at that point, but you won't really be flying through space so much as you will be jumping. There we go. And so when you're in a star system, the other planets look like stars. And if you're looking at a planet from the side, it'll look like a, oh god. It'll look like a crescent. And so as you go like on this side, you can see it looks like an actual crescent. And this like simulates real world physics. Because I got like a coworker and he argues, he's like, why is it that the moon goes from looking like this to looking like this, like a straight line? Like, why is it suddenly goes from a crescent to a straight line? And I try to explain that, like, well, it's really hard to simulate this with a ball and a flashlight, but even with a ball and a flashlight, you could basically simulate this happening. The main thing you can't simulate is the way that, like, light, like, the distance of the light isn't radically different from here to here, because you're already dealing with a bright light source a million miles away, or whatever it is. There are many that can give as much as, let's make that wider. There are not many that can give as much in a one-on-one. You do weak in a panel, but you don't need a panel to come up with ideas. Like me, I have plenty to talk about. Well, I appreciate your honest feedback. I really do. Yeah, it's not, you know, it's not unfair to say I would, if I'm weak at that, if I'm weak at being in a panel, I would like to level up. I would like to build my strengths on that, like, but at the same time, I also understand that other people's channels are not a proving ground or a practicing ground, like, it's like people have content to release. They're serious about making content. So I understand that other people's channels are not a playground for, practicing and honing one's technique. But, the more you do anything, the better you get at it. It's like riding a bike. Oh, yeah, they did release it for PC. Okay, good. No, it's okay. Oh, you did. That's funny. I actually read that. I read that wrong. Well, honestly, I think that sometimes I could be a weak in a panel. Let's see. I'll reread that. I'm going to reread that. You do well in a panel, but you don't need a panel to come up with ideas. Okay, fair enough. I thought you were insulting me in a polite way. Oh, shit. What did I just do? Uh-oh. Okay, somehow the game's physics are behaving differently than before. I know the feeling. I know the feeling. I've gotten better at not having to bite my tongue more. All right, let's get some epilepsy up in here. Oh, this is a fucked up star. You do not want to be near this one. This is called cancer. No, this is seriously. This is like a star where you get like melanoma from being too close to it. This is like one of those stars where if you're on any of the planets, like you better be like underground and with no intent of ever going above ground because you ain't living a life on those planets' surfaces. Like everybody on those planet surfaces over there, they're dead. It's like Star Trek. You're dead, Jim. Like I think this is the nearest planet right here. I don't know. There's too many. There must be a humongous star. I bet you if we got a scale size up of that star, we'd figure out it's pretty huge. I think we'd go to that galaxy in the background in a minute. We can fly to the stars automatically, but I love like flying to them to kind of. Okay, so this is one of those stars that orbits. Oh wait, don't tell me it's doing that bullshit. I gotta reset this. There we go. Let's find something cool now that we could go inside a nebula, but I feel like screw it. We're gonna use the go-to button. Oh yeah, so sometimes you'll have stars orbiting stars. That happens too in this game. So you have like this one's got sunspots on it. Oh God, I'm lost. These are called spicules. They're basically like almost like dense in the star's gaseousness. Oh, good. Remember the Pleiades? Remember the Seven Sisters I made a joke about? They're over here. Let's go fly to the Seven Sisters. We're gonna fly there the old-fashioned way. Warp speed. I really need to get the Star Trek music lined up. I would play the space dock music from Star Trek 1. So there's really 7 bright objects in this nebula, but only like, but there's obviously way more when we move in on it, and that's just the facts of life. Whoa, whoa, okay, let's just go. Oh God, what happened? Lost it. Oh, that's a bright mother effer. Now, if you want to get an idea, that's the Milky Way galaxy, right? So let's go for the galactic core. We're gonna fly into the core of the Milky Way, and then we're gonna do something even cooler. We just flew past some nebulas. Oh, that's cool. A globular star cluster. So I take pictures of these sometimes. They're not that hard to photograph. And a globular star cluster, it looks like a group of stars, but when you go around it like this, you see how it's obviously got a three-dimensional shape to it. And of course, like any other grouping of stars, every star has a planet in orbit of it, or not every, but many of them do. Oh, black hole! That's so cool. Am I allowed to be near this? How close can I get to the black hole without any problems? Can I fly inside of it? I don't think it lets me fly inside the black hole. Yeah, it doesn't let you get stuck in the black hole. That's why, those pictures of black holes, you often see some shit like that. Oh, wait. You know what? That might be the galactic core. Because I'm going towards Sagittarius A. And basically, there is a black hole at the center of the galaxy. There's a couple of them, actually. So let's go. We're going to zoom out. We're now going to fly away from the galaxy. Like, I don't even think we're in the galactic core. Okay, good. See? So I was actually nowhere near the galactic core, but that's how big the galaxy is. We're moving at obscenely high speed right now. And when we're looking at the galaxy, we're seeing it from the inside. And so we're seeing something that resembles this, but except we're inside of this. And so what we do is we measure the distances of stars with relation to each other when we're inside of here. See, like we're looking at the rest of the galaxy from inside the galaxy. Let's see if we can find a black hole. Yep, there it is. Now we're at the center of the Milky Way. Oh, my computer is going insane right now. In fact, here's why we know there's a black hole in the galaxy. Where is it? There's a couple of stars orbiting the black hole in the center of the galaxy. So we can actually see, like, I'm fast forwarding it right now. It's already 2025. So I'm skipping ahead like a month every second. And what we do is we take astronomers, real astronomers, take time lapses of the stars that orbit the black hole Sagittarius A, and they're able to figure out, okay, well, over the course of 20 years, this stuff moves in orbit of the black hole in the center of our galaxy. And that's basically how we know there's a black hole in there. We know there's not a star in the middle that has enough mass to allow all these objects to orbit it. Therefore, it's got to be a black hole. And you can even look up some blurry pictures of it. All right, man. It's good to see you. And yet, indeed, as Mulder says, I'm just checking how much work my CPU is doing right now. Actually, this GPU is not working that hard, all things considered. All right, now let's zoom out more. I'm kind of hoping to see the Milky Way spin around. So that's kind of fun. Let's check how the weather is doing. I'm absolutely lost. Let's get out of here. If anything, I'll play Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. Yeah, the atmospherics are not looking very good for astrometrics tonight. So I'm probably gonna play this game on my Steam Deck on my TV because I don't know. I'm in the middle of playing already. I'm resuming a game, so I don't want to, mess it up. I could stream that, but there's not really much to show right now. I don't really feel like doing astro image processing this moment. But yeah, I don't have really much else to cover right now. Although I do want to take a look at this Gundam model kit and show you guys some tricks we have up our sleeves. So I was working on this beam, well not beam, this Gatling gun. So yeah, anyway, one of the things about Gundam models is you get these like lines, right? So what I did was I put some thin cement on, and then after letting it set, I dried it and I sanded it, and the line actually went away pretty decently, like it's barely there. Now, I had two ideas for managing the rest of the line. I could just apply a little more of these stuff on there maybe, but I have to still work on the rest of this, so we're gonna do the rest of this real quick. As you can see, we have like a little bit of a, you know, little imperfection there, right? Some of that is the glue. So we just went from 800 grit to 400 grit. 400 grit to 800 grit. That will help get us to polishing it now. See that like white chalky stuff? That might be the plastic or the sandpaper. See, now we have a rough sanding. It's not really shining, but it's not really messed up either. So now we're gonna start working our way to like a higher grit. Now we're at 3000 grit. We're jumping straight to 3000. Now this is the part where the sandpaper ceases to feel like sandpaper. It just feels like polishing paper. See, we're starting to get like that shininess back, but we're also seeing some of the seam now. But I think next time I apply glue to it, the seam will be mostly gone. I can't even feel the seam of my fingernail anymore. So I think we're onto something here. Getting in these tight spaces, I just kind of do this. Can't see the line anymore. That's good. So now we do the same thing. We work our way up to 800 grit. That's a more tough to reach spot. I might not go crazy trying to fix that, but give it a shot. What is that shit? I'm a nighttime. Gotta go to bed soon. Alright, well, let's keep at it. I don't want to give up on this until I get something done. Technically, you should be rinsing it off whenever you switch between different types of sandpaper. It's actually kind of getting there. So I think what happens is when you put the glue on, you're sort of melting it together and leveling it. But you can see how challenging it can be to be able to accurately hit all the right spots. I'm gonna put more glue on it and then mess with it tomorrow because I'm not really in the mood to mess with this right now. So my plan is to put more thin cement on it. This stuff is super strong. Now, obviously, we're gonna sand that off, but right now it's like a little splotchy. But we're gonna let that dry and we'll sand it off. And I'll tell you exactly what I'm using. I'll show you what I'm using in about 2 seconds, Eric. It's good to see you, Eric Boyd. We got Eric Boyd in the chat here today. Let's click on his name if I can find a button to click on Eric. Hey, that's where did the chat go? On it. Bummer. I lost the chat window. How did that happen? Well, we're gonna bring the chat window back, just like Slim Shady, except we're not ghetto. And then I'm gonna have to resize the chat window. Hello, sample user. There we go. And I just gotta make sure that. Hey, that's weird. I don't even know where the other chat window is. So yeah, to answer your question, well, first, now that we got that going, so this is what we're doing. So these are from a Gundam model set. In particular, this is a Mobile Suit Victory Gundam weapons set, and some of the weapons. Oh shit! All right, let me just. How the hell? Okay, well we didn't spill too much glue, but give me a moment to clean up because I neglected to tie up. I have to order myself a new sanding stick now because I don't know if it's good to have this type of glue on the sanding stick. But we're gonna give this a quick rinse-a-roo. Give me 3 seconds to kind of get this rinsed out. I don't want to ruin my good sanding sticks, even though I can always get more. So I'm hoping that if I just rinse these a lot, the glue that I accidentally got on them just now won't cause any permanent damage. So then I'll be happy to show you what we're working with. So it looks like I didn't really spill any glue on the sanding sticks that are in front of me right now. So that's good. But that almost sucked because like I could feel the glue is on the bottom of this bottle right now. But apparently this is a pretty full bottle. So it's actually more full than I'd expect it to be. But I want to give it a good cleansing before I show what I'm working with. Now luckily the glue that I just spilled on my desk is the Tamiya thin cement. So I have a feeling that it's not going to be that disruptive of a spill. But you ever notice how model glue smells like bananas? I'm just dipping the water. I want to make sure the water is actually clean. Okay. So, gonna have to turn on a fan. Probably gonna take this the mat that I just spilled everything on into another room, clean it in the bathroom, and bring it back because when I go to bed, I don't want this thing evaporating the smell of glue. Wow, that really hits the nasal passages. So anyway, to answer your question, so I don't know how I didn't spill that much, but I spilled something, but the bottle looks more full than it was before I started, so I don't think that's possible. But you can see for yourself how much. It's like they must have filled it above the cap or something. I don't know. But we got plenty in there. So anyway, this is Tamiya Extra Thin Cement. And the reason I'm using it is actually just to get rid of the panel lines. Whereas I think the heavier cement you would use for gluing things. I mean, you can use either one of these for gluing things. But this one takes a long time to set. Because really, you don't use it for gluing. You use it for hiding the panel lines. And so that was like what I bought this to do. And it seems to do it actually. Like, so yeah, so that's the Tamiya thin cement. And what I did was I bought a weapons set, which I don't know where it is right now, but I have a box. Yeah, it's over there. So this is the Victory Gundam weapons set. You can see that's the V2 Victory Gundam, which although I started working on it, we got some work cut out for us. You can see that's part of it. You can see that's like the cockpit. And so basically I bought this weapons set here. And they're just, gray plastic parts. And so when I put the two sides together, this is actually, split down the middle, right? You can see how there's a line here, but there isn't a line here. And the reason there's no line here is because I used the Tamiya cement, the thin cement. Then I used multiple grits of sandpaper to like sort of sand it down and then to basically buff it to make it a polished smoothness, because that's how that works. You work your way up from like a lower number, like 400 grit, 800 grit, 1000 grit, 3000 grit, 5000 grit, and you basically what you're doing is you're working your way up from a low grit to a high grit sandpaper with the intent of polishing it basically. So as you work your way up to a higher grit, you basically end up polishing it instead of just sanding it. And so if you want a good adhesive, there's a lot of different things that you can go for. Is that glue or is that water? Is that I'm gonna get glue. Actually, it's good thing if I'm gonna get any cement on my keyboard, it would be the thin stuff. But anyway, like I have a stuff in my drawer right here. And I want to use this on my 3D printed models, and this stuff here sets, well, what the fuck was, oh yeah, that's the needle. Oh yeah, so this comes with different tips so that you can like, switch between, I guess if you get glue stuck in the tip. But basically, it's got a tube. When you buy this, it comes with 2 tubes that go inside this dispenser. So you can actually open up the dispenser and remove that tube. And it's a little weird how this operates, but you basically press really hard on these buttons, and as you squeeze it, the glue comes out of this dispenser. And this stuff here is like QuickType. It even says QuickType right there. And when I went to use this on a 3D print, I'll show you the model that I printed that I used this cement on. Okay. This is the data list from Stargate Atlantis, and I still got to paint it black. But what happened was I 3D printed it standing up on my printer bed. So for example, this part was standing up vertically. I was going to turn on my recording. I'm going to record this for my reference here. What we have here is the data list from Stargate Atlantis. And I should turn on my lights. I'm sorry, let me turn on my lights real quick. There we go. Okay. Now I'll really do this. All right. What we have here is the data list from Stargate Atlantis. And in order to 3D print it, I printed it wherever you see the lines. Basically, this was standing up my 3D printer like this. So it was on the printer bed standing up from this line upwards. And then this part here in the middle was also standing up on the printer bed. And it ends right over here. And in this middle piece, it actually glues on top. And that's why it's uneven. And so what happened was when I glued this piece on the top, the glue set so quickly. The Tamiya glue I just showed you. This glue set so quickly, I barely had any amount of time to rotate it and reposition it. You know when you're gluing something and you could you can maneuver it? And same thing happened here. When I glued the front of the ship on to the back section, it was off by a few degrees. So this side had like an overhang, and this side was like, flush or not flush either. Both sides weren't flush. So I had to sand it down. But then in the act of sanding it down, I actually put some putty on it. In fact, apparently I didn't remove all the putty. Apparently I painted primer on it without removing the putty. I don't know why I would do that. So I'll probably sand it down a little bit and then add more primer. I'll add one more coat of primer. But I got to sand it down, add another coat of primer basically. I'm not even going to go crazy. Once I paint it black, I'm not even going to bother. Like this, I could put some... You can see how there's like a big overhang here, but it's more smooth here. That's all because this glue was not the right glue to use for this particular thing. For this particular thing, I should have used the longer setting glue. It is nice if you can get it right the first time. If you have a model that has like a key or like, you have like a male to female peg going into a hole, the fast setting glue could be really nice. But if you don't have that and you fuck up, what happened was actually the reason there's so much putty here is because I had to, when I went to rip this in half, I had some of the layers delaminating. That's why I didn't even bother to fix this part. I said, you know what, this is good enough. Even though it's really quite a bit off, you can't really tell from above. And I didn't bother fixing it because when I went to rip this part off, like a minute after gluing it, I nearly ripped the model in half. And I said, okay, thank God. I had like rough edges. I had to sand it down before reattaching the front section of the ship. But I was able to fix that. But you get the idea. So basically, like, I think that I haven't used this on my 3D prints yet, but I have a feeling that this stuff, even though it'll take forever to set, will give me more working time. It'll allow me to maneuver and work on it for longer. This, I have a feeling, doesn't set too quickly either, but it should be faster. like I said, this is a heavier cement. This is the thin cement. And it seems that a lot of model makers, they use this on their Gundam models to get rid of the panel lines. Like when you're looking at the legs and it's made up of 2 pieces of plastic, there's a panel line in the armor where there shouldn't be one. And so what you do is you put this over the panel lines, and then you do what I was doing with the Gatling gun, where I was sanding it down and essentially going from like rough sandpaper and working my way up to a high grit sandpaper. And basically the glue that you see here that's drying right now, that's what I did over here. I put glue over here, then I sanded it using progressively higher grit sandpaper to give it that polished look. And it looks like I got some glue on a fingerprint here that I'm gonna have to clean off. No big deal. I gotta sand it on all sides. And so far the barrel, I was successful. These small crevices are gonna be really hard. I might not even bother with the crevices. I might just focus on the top of the toy and leave the bottom like mostly as like I'll do this part since it's flat. I'm probably gonna skip this area because I don't really want to go insane. Unless I get like maybe some sandpaper that comes with a little twig. In fact, wait, I got sanding twigs, but they're not designed for the, I gotta do some research. I don't, but you probably could. Yeah, like I said, with the 3D prints especially, like it's even harder to take them. Like it's probably easier to take apart something made out of like plastic like this, even though like you probably don't want to ruin it. You probably can mess with this a little more, but these also, you can't really line these up wrong. Everything snaps together perfectly as it is, so there's really no way to mess these up. But the heat gun, you definitely, if you're gonna deal with this type of glue, you're gonna want to be well ventilated, because you know, heating up, you know, something like this, it already just now I spilled it on my blue mat and I gotta rinse that off, right? I'm getting high off that shit right now. So if I was hitting that with a hot air gun or a hairdryer, you know, like I said, I would definitely want to have like a fan or a window open, or a window and a fan. I'm sitting right next to a window, by the way. And then let's see here. Not Eric Boyd, Pat Wannabe went to bed. But it is good to see you, Lemon Pie. Thanks for dropping in. So I was doing that Space Simulator app before, but I kind of got not frustrated, but bored with it. And I only did it because the weather wasn't permitting astrophotography. I might do a little work on my Gundam model kit. I might do that. But other than that, I don't know. Unless there's any request, I'm probably not going to do anything exciting for the remainder of the night, to be honest. You know, mainly before I do anything else, I'm going to rinse this blue thing off to get the glue off of it. I'm only using molds of blank figures and my own sculpts, just epoxy resin and silicone. I will start again with within a few weeks. That's cool. That's very interesting. Yeah, so there's a guy, I forgot his name, Omega Ordained, I think. And he would like basically get that jelly mold stuff, and he would put the jelly stuff around a action figure, and then he would make copies of that action figure using epoxy resin or something. And you know, I don't know if he painted them, but that was just something he was doing, I guess, making copies of old figurines. Now, of course, none of his figurines, I don't think any of them really have any articulation in them, but that was okay. So I don't know if you guys were here the other day, but I was playing some video clips from Mobile Suit Victory Gundam. In fact, yeah, it was when Action Man was visiting. And I have this cool trick where when I show my desktop, I press this button here. And this is how I prevent the YouTube content ID from like flagging the video. So if the audio doesn't cause any issue, sometimes the video will cause YouTube to detect a copyright thing. And putting this pattern on the screen seems to like help thwart that detection mechanism. So yeah, it's kind of cool. But other than that, so I got a Blu-ray movie. I should probably be very careful about holding this in my hand. I don't want to ruin this by dropping it in the glue. So I'm going to hold this up briefly, and I'm going to put it back where it was. This is Legend of the Galactic Heroes Blu-ray box set from Japan. And I bought the Japanese anime, Super Dimension Fortress Macross, Do You Remember Love? See, it says Macross, Do You Remember Love in Japanese. And I ran into a problem where, not a problem, I had to add subtitles to it. And I figured it out. I actually downloaded some subtitles, figured out how to edit the subtitles, and then I was able to like use a video encoder like this one here to add these subtitles. Composite mode, interesting. I gotta try that out. I've been wanting to mess around with fiberglass resins and stuff like that. I want to like maybe mess with composites and learn how to make some stuff out of fiberglass and carbon. Maybe build some building materials out of that stuff, you know? I think I remember seeing that stuff somewhere on Amazon, maybe. I thought I seen it. So, you know, basically I took the Blu-ray movie, I supplied the video encoding app, but I don't usually like using the de-interlacing filter from Handbrake. And so I usually use a better program, but this better program was giving me all kinds of problems. So I freaking, you know, normally this program is the best, but it was giving me problems with the particular item I was trying to fix. So, like, whereas Macross, Do You Remember Love, it was very easy to add subtitles. Take a 37 gigabyte 2-hour movie. It was like 35 gigs for 2 hours, and I was able to convert it into a file that was considerably smaller. In fact, that's what I was going to show my friend before. That's what I was going to show him. And so, if we look here, I have like 5 versions of this movie. So this is the Blu-ray version. It's like 35 gigs for like an hour and 55 minutes. And then I run it to the video encoder, and I get it down to 8 gigs. I get it down anywhere from 4, 8, and 10 gigs. But in just about all of these, the only one where I could discern a noticeable reduction in quality is on the 4 gig version. And even that is really not that noticeable. Most people would be more than happy with the quality of this file. But my standards, I'm much happier with the 10 gig file. But it was really easy. I was able to like take the subtitle file, put it through the video encoder, edit the timing of the subtitle file, and then open it in, you know, make it part of the MKV file. And that wasn't that bad. That was really easy, actually. But with Legend of the Galactic Heroes, it kept causing my preferred video encoder to crash. And the reason I found out was that the video was in a slightly different format. It had these horizontal lines they call interlaced video. Basically, something that you normally would encounter on VHS. So I said, okay, I'm going to use Handbrake to run the encoder, and I'll work out the other issues later. Like after I encode the episodes, or I get to getting a good format going. If this program does the trick, I don't need to use the other program, but I'll submit, you know, a support post to the people who make the other program. And I'll say, hey, look, this is what I'm doing. Here's my log file. Here's the problem I'm having. What should I do? And then they can advise me. In fact, did I just close that program by accident? Oh, here it is. Yeah, so I'll post, you know, on the forum, and I'll say, here's my settings. Here's what happens. But I'm still kind of playing with it. So if I find sets of settings that don't cause the problem and give me a satisfactory result, then I'll use it, you know. But if on the other hand, you know, I don't, then I'll post the log and I'll show them what I did and see if anybody can answer why I'm having problems. But this program was going to take like a gazillion hours to do the processing per episode. This program, I think it takes like anywhere from 3 to 5 hours per episode. This episode has about an hour left. It says 5 hours elapsed, but I think I paused it for a few hours, so I don't think it counts if I had this on pause. But right now it's processing at 2 frames a second. That means it would take like 30 seconds to process, like I think 1 second of footage or some obscenely lengthy. My math might be wrong on that, but maybe it's like 30 seconds for 2 frames of footage. Well, not 1 second of footage, which is 60 frames, takes about, I think, 30 seconds. Was that it? Yeah, some shit like that. It took like some obscene amount of time to do 1 second worth of footage. And so that's why it takes hours upon hours to process this. But in fact, I just realized the time remaining count is not counting down. So I don't care, whatever. I'm going to let it run. All I want is for this one to finish converting the file, as well as add subtitles to it. I want to see this process complete the conversion, and if it does it successfully, then I'll make up a queue. I'll queue up multiple files, and I'll use these settings, and I'll do it while I'm at work. You know, I'll let it take like a gazillion hours while I'm at work. And that is my plan. God, I hate yawning. I got these paint fumes coming off of this here, and I'm yawning. I'm gonna go get a snack. And I mean, if you guys go to bed or leave, I won't be offended. Definitely won't be offended. because it's late for all of us. It's not that late, but it's kind of late. But if you guys go away, I'm gonna probably, either finish playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare or watch Victory Gundam. Or maybe if you got, I don't know, we'll see. But if you guys go away, I want to say thank you for dropping in. Please hit that like button. Please like and subscribe. If you have any questions, comments, ideas, please leave a comment or leave a message in the chat. And I will be back in a little while after I clean the gunk off of this thing here. Because, like I said, I want to rinse this thing off. I want to get the glue off of this, Oh, God. That felt cold. Oh. Oh, God, that was so awful. It felt like wet glue. Oh, it felt like wet. I think it was water. I hope it was just water. I just poured the water on my legs just now, so I'm hoping that was like 90% water and 2% glue. But it was like that cool feeling when someone pours water on your neck and you're not expecting it. It felt like that. Or if I do get glue in my pants, these are pajamas, and I will just get new ones and use these maybe when I'm painting or something like that. These would be like for getting messy. But yeah, man, Eric Boyd, man, thanks for tuning in. Have a great night. May the force be with you. And if you're here in private, I don't see you later. Have a good night. But I'll be back. I'm gonna go take this stuff that I just poured on my leg and rinse it off. Alrighty. I cleaned it off. Yo, this thing, it smelled like glue. This thing smells like, if I put my nose over here where this white stuff is, it still smells like glue. You know how like the glue you use on these things smells like bananas? Yeah, that shit smells like bananas. But I don't think it's good for you. I think it's sort of like when you smell cyanide, that shit smells like almonds. So if you ever like get gassed by something that smells like almonds, think twice about sticking around, you know? So anyway, typical Gundam model kit. You got a gazillion pieces. Okay, there's our Gundam head. And I'm not putting it on yet because I have to wait till I can attach the arms to put the head on. We have that. I think this one, even though it's a transformable mobile suit, I think the fighter plane is separate from the Gundam. So I'm kind of tempted to build the fighter plane before building anything else. Now I'm on. Now technically I got to do two of this part here. So that red thing, that's the beam saber. So we're gonna do the beam saber right now. We're gonna do the second half of the beam saber just to get it done because it's got to be done anyway. Now, the way I've been doing this, I've been doing it wrong on purpose. Not so much wrong, but like essentially, if you cut these things flush right off the way you think you're supposed to do it, you get pressure marks on there. So what I do is I back off the snips and I leave the burrs on there just so that I can snip them off without putting any unnecessary pressure. Now I did order a $35 set of snips, but they didn't come in the mail, so I told Amazon, hey, you guys gotta resend them to me. So I'm waiting for the ones that I ordered to come. But until the $35 ones come in, I'm kind of stuck dealing with this. And I wish I wasn't stuck dealing with that because, you know, it takes like so much patience. I need like a cup to store water in or something. I know it's like mad nasty, but we're just gonna use this as our dipping cup here for the sandpaper. It's mad nasty. Oh, good. The video encoder is counting down, I think. I still don't think it's going to be done in an hour and 2 minutes like it says, but I hope it is. Well, it looks like it might be. So the good news is that sanding it like this takes away the snipping marks. The bad news is that it still like takes so much time. Yeah, man, these stress marks piss me off. Like, how much do I have to sandpaper this shit to get rid of those marks? That's why I really hope those really expensive snips come in the mail, and I hope they actually solve the issue. Because you know, that's like I'm really not. I mean, maybe I need different sandpaper. I don't know, but we'll see. Like I said, I try to avoid the stress marks by cutting the piece off, early, and then making it snip. Oh, I could put the plastic in here. So this piece here goes. So yeah, it is actually like. Yeah, now I'm remembering. I think if I'm reading this right, I need two of these, and I need two of everything up through here. So I already did one of each of these, but I don't really feel like doing the rest of them. So let's take a look at what I did do yesterday. So I need to do like this red piece belongs to this. So obviously I got to do like another one of these and another one of these. This is a shoulder. It goes on like that. And so yeah, I'm gonna do those another time. For now, we're just gonna gently put everything away. And then we'll resume this work when when I'm in the mood to spend time on it. But I think that about covers today's activity. Like I said, unfortunately, my project in which I add subtitles to a $150 Blu-ray box set is gonna take it's gonna take a little bit of time. And it doesn't really matter how long it takes, as long as like when it's done, it does what I want it to do. I went to Trader Joe's today. I bought some snacks. I bought some fucking seaweed right here. And this is like way better to eat than popcorn before bed, probably. Especially if I'm watching cartoons before bed. This is what I should be eating before bed. But like I think it's like 30 calories in here. Now, realistically though, I don't think seaweed is a good value. You don't really get enough seaweed. Like I got a pretty good deal on this package, but overall, I don't generally think you get like a good deal on a large pack of seaweed, especially if you're going to a place like Trader Joe's. It's like, they're not overpriced for some of the quality stuff, but it's not like a place that's designed to have sales, like they don't, like they sure to have some of their they try to show they're being competitive with their flyers, but it's not ShopRite, ShopRite, they're the ones who, it's literally in their name, ShopRite and Always Save. That ain't Trader Joe's. And that's okay, that's not their niche market. Some people want to get like high quality food. They want to know what they're putting in their stomachs. They want to eat something healthy. So, they go that route. But if you're chasing the sales, then it might not be your favorite place. But anyway, yeah, so don't really have much else to cover, so I'm gonna just end this. If anyone who's watching, please like and subscribe. If you have any questions, comments, or ideas, please leave a comment. And for now, we shall end this transmission on my mark. I'm waiting for YouTube to catch up. And ending transmission now.